going to cover?
Negotiating like your life depends on it. And there's so many freaking strategies behind negotiation. It's crazy.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Well, you know what? Actually, I learned a few about a year and a half ago that I use pretty much on a daily basis, and they have absolutely changed my life. You want to hear about them?
Sign me up.
Okay, so the first thing that I do, and it's funny, I actually made a cheat sheet right here that I use, and maybe I'll give this cheat sheet out to people that come to the summit completely free. But what is, you can do this thing called mirroring, and mirroring allows you to build really good rapport with people and make people like you. Like if you're at a party, you can just go around and mirror people, and they will just instantly like you, and they'll think you're the most interesting person at the party. So here's how you do it. Really, what you do is you literally just repeat the last three, like 2 or 3 words that anybody says. So for example, if I were to say, Bill, what do you do for a living?
I'd go, I don't know, entrepreneur.
Oh, you're an entrepreneur.
Oh, I see what you did there. So
yeah,
you just
say, oh, you're an entrepreneur.
what I said.
And then what happens is, so you're hearing the word that you said, right? So like, for example, if I'm talking to, if I'm at like a party or something, I'd say, like, how do you know the host? And you'd say, oh, I know from soccer practice. Our kids play soccer together. Oh, your kids play soccer together? And then he would say, yeah. His daughter's 7, my daughter's 8. And basically what you do is you just keep repeating the last 2 or 3 words that they say, and then you pause and you let them start talking again. And basically what happens is it's really good rapport because they think you're listening really, really well. Not saying don't listen, but it works really, really, really well. And then what you do is you throw something called a label. And a label is essentially verbalizing an emotion, right? So what you can do if you're talking to a criminal client, right? They're saying, I don't want to go to jail. I don't have the money for the fines. I don't know what are people gonna say about me if I get convicted of a crime. Then what you do is you just basically verbalize their emotion. So you say, it sounds really afraid of this. And they'll say, yeah, I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't want to ruin my reputation. It sounds like they care about what people think about you, and you just keep saying stuff like that combined with mirroring. And it makes people, it just generates a rapport like you can never generate anywhere else. But you got to remember, people love themselves, love talking about themselves. You use these 2 tactics, building rapport. It's a slam. There's like no way they can't do, because you're really just talking about themselves and letting them. It's awesome.
I'm more process guy, so that is really powerful. I've never consciously done that. I think
you consciously done that.
I've never. That was pretty good. So I'm more of a process guy. So I follow the 7-step sales process, which is basically every sales interaction should start with a great attitude. Then every sales interaction must start with greeting and reason. People oftentimes forget to, at the beginning of a sales interaction, state, hey, my name is, and this is the intention of this call. This has been our 3rd call now. So the intention of this call is to make a decision, not to chit chat. And then we go into needs analysis, right? So, first you go into a setting, but considering you have an appointment made, then you go into needs analysis, which there's 4 specific needs analysis questions that if you get the answer to in a sales interaction, you're not going to close the deal. Or if you do, it's really just luck. Those 4 are, you have to know their priorities, challenges, audit their current situation, and how is what you're offering going to impact them. So it's priorities, challenges, audit, impact. So those are the 4 needs analysis questions that you ask. Then once you've gathered that intelligence, then you transition to what I call the proposal conversation. The proposal conversation, oftentimes when people get to the proposal, it becomes the proposal vomit, where you just go, blah, blah, here's everything. So a proposal conversation is where you use what's called the share, ask, listen, reply model. So you share a little bit about your proposed strategy or solution for them, and you go, does that make sense to you? Are you on board with that? Can you see how this benefit? So you share, ask, then this is what salespeople suck at: listen, share, ask, listen, and then reply. Yeah. And you go through a looping mechanism through your close where instead of just going, you ready to do this? You're giving them value and asking for a question, right? And then after that, this is what I'd say most people are the absolute worst at, is asking for the sale. We get some flack for this at our company, because if you call us, we are going to ask for your business, right? And this is where like all of your revenue comes from. So what does that look like? Well, there's 2 popular closing lines we use. Number 1 is the confidence close. Number 2 is what's called the alignment close. So confidence close is literally this simple. Hey, I'm confident in our ability to impact your objectives with said solution. Are you? Great. Let's put this into action now. Would you agree? And you get a buy-in. You're asking for their business. And the alignment close is very similar to it, but I follow this framework. And then the last step of the framework is follow up, right? So you need to have follow up, strategies to reignite people who have lost interest. So I'm more of a process guy. It seems you're more of a
well, you know what's interesting is that you could take the mirror labeling and get that into the process. So you know what's cool though? A lot of times there's this awkwardness of I'm going from fact finding, because typically what you want to do in the beginning of you just basically want to find out what's going on. You don't jump into this, right? And then at some point you have to start moving toward asking for the pitch, right? Or asking for the sale, So what I've found that works really well is that to take the awkwardness out of it, what I always do is I say, based on what you told me, I definitely think I can help you. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about that?
Oh man, I love putting it on them.
Well, now they've given you mission to try to ask them for money, because now
you tell me. Those are one of my 3 favorite lines. I always say, you tell me. You want me to go further? You tell me.
Yeah. I already know this. Look, I do this. I do this all day long. I don't. I can tell you about it or not. I'm good. I don't know. So but that's cool. So now I'm really interested to hear what he has to say, because that's I mean, I've never negotiated on Gotti before. I've been across
Here's another thing. So he's negotiated with Paul Castellano, literally the boss, right? John Gotti. But also, a lot of people don't know this. He negotiated with the federal government. I mean, he owed the federal government when the RICO Act was rolled out.
Yeah,
dude, he negotiated with the federal government from like owing them $24 million or something to owing them like $100,000 over like years of payment. And so he used all of his negotiation skills with some of the craziest people on earth, and he applied it to the federal government. So if you are interested in this kind of stuff and you want to up level your negotiating skills, you have to listen to Michael Francis on day 2 of the event. This is going to be an absolute game changer for the attorneys who attend, because you're an attorney, and I would say negotiation is probably at the top of the list of skills that determine your future and your success. So register for the Lawyer Mastermind Summit, clicking link below. And Andy and I are also going to be giving you some gems on gems on gems with the negotiating strategies that we use to our businesses.
Yep.